Coming up on FRC Recap, Week 4 of the Charged Up season is complete with 36 events that our correspondents from around the world will join us to cover and break down. Plus, our news team will provide our Week 5 preview with some awesome events that you should keep your eye out on. Strap in, get ready for FRC Recap.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. Kettering University is looking for talented robotics students who want to continue learning and innovating in a hands-on, real-world experience format. Kettering University representatives will be at dozens of FIRST events this season, including the championship. Go to kettering.edu/first to see which events you can meet a Kettering University representative. FRC competition season is here. Submit your favorite moments to FRC Clips of the Week by each Sunday at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. Also, the FRC Top 25 poll is open Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern to Monday 5 p.m. Eastern, where you can vote for your top 25 teams of the week at firstupdatesnow.com/FRC Top 25.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to FRC Recap for Week 4. I'm your host, Steve Londo. This week, Fun Correspondents will provide you with recaps of our 36 events from all around the world. If you're watching live or on YouTube, put in the comments which events have your attention or anything extra that went down at events that you were at this week. Kicking off the show, per usual, is our first region of tonight, the Northeastern region, covering the U.S. Northeast. With 6 events to cover, let's bring on senior correspondent Connor to talk about the first 2 events. Both of the New England District events, which were the New England District UNH event and the New England District Greater Boston event. Connor, welcome back to Recap. How things start out in New England this weekend?
Things were great as usual, my friend. We begin Week 4 of the FRC Recap with the UNH University of New Hampshire District event in Durham, New Hampshire. This event featured 41 teams from all 6 New England states. After 82 qualification matches, it was 63-29, the Bucks' Wrath, who would seed first with a record of 11-1 and a ranking score average of 3.5. They would select their friends 133 Burt, who seeded second, and would round off their alliance with 26th ranked team 79-13 barely functioning. Before we set off into the playoffs, let's just talk about 79-13 for a second. How they dropped all the way down to the second pick of the number 1 seed mind boggles me. Not only were they averaging 4 to 5 game pieces in quals, they also had a charge station balance, which isn't something you normally see from a late second pick at a district qualifying event. Moving on to the action. The number 1 seed would cruise through the upper bracket where their score never dropped below 150. They would face off against the number 4 seed alliance of 58 the Riot Crew, 131 Chaos, and 501 the Power Knights in the finals. And oh boy, were they intense. It was some of the most entertaining gameplay we have seen all weekend, but in the end, the number 1 seed would win in 2 matches, 156-130 and 159-119. Congratulations to Team 509 Red Storm for winning their first ever Engineering Inspiration Award, until 131 Chaos not only winning silver for their finalists, but they also get the gold, double silver and gold cling bling event finalists and impact award. We take a short drive to where champions are made, Titletown, USA, the Greater Boston District event in Revere, Massachusetts. This event featured 39 teams from 5 states. After 78 qualification matches, it was none other than 34-67 Wyndham Windup that would seed first with a record of 9-3 and a ranking score average of 3.16. They would select number 16 seed 125 Neutrons and round off their alliance with 37th ranked team 86-26 Cyber Sailors. The number 1 seed had a few close matches that nearly sent them down to the lower bracket, one of those matches being match 7, where they eked out a win by just 6 points. They would make their way to the finals, where they clashed with the number 7 seed of 2877 Ligerbots, 246 the Labsta Bats, and 238 Crusaders. Fun fact, 238 has made it to the finals of both of their qualifying events this year from the number 7 seed. Both alliances fought hard, but it was ultimately the number 1 seed who would win the event in 2 matches, 149 to 123 and 141 to 115. Congratulations to 54-59, the Ipswich Tigers, for winning the Engineering Inspiration Award, and to 125 for the double gold Clang Bling, event winners and impact award. Steve, back to you.
Thanks, Connor. Sounds like a great couple of events.
The Week 4 Mid-Atlantic region would feature 2 events, starting off with Seneca, featuring 31 teams, including many notables, both old and new, including 25, 272, 365, 1807, and the absolutely on-fire team, 5895 Petty Robotics. With only 15 4RP unicorn matches, the number 1 seed would be a tie between 2720 Red Watch Robotics, who is only in their second year under this moniker, and 5895 Petty Robotics with an average RP at 3.0 and the tie going to Petty. The number 1 seed would pick up 1807 Redbird Robotics, who had a strong showing back at Week 1 at Hatboro Horsham, and pick up 5457 Falco Bots, who had yet to win a blue banner in their team's history. Number 2 2720 would pick up longtime veteran 272 and round up with 2559. The number 2 Alliance would win their first match, but have a close call and have to bring in backup robot against the number 3 seed of 1712, 1812, and 6921 in match 8. Red would go with the two defensive robot strategy and just not be able to generate enough firepower at 272 alone and would be knocked out in round 2. On the other side of the bracket, the number 4 Alliance of 4342, 25, and 9100 would also drop to the lower bracket in round 2, where they would battle through to face a number 3 seed in a lower bracket final. And despite a close call, with Red getting 3 balanced and Blue almost making a critical mistake at 15 seconds in this match, with their balance, this would send the number 4 Alliance into the finals. Finals 1 was a 48-point margin win and 145-97 victory in Red's favor. Finals 2 was a different story, however. 9100 for Blue played an interesting defensive strategy as simply blocking off the Red path by the Blue loading zone, which forced Red to go around, or a really tough time to go through. And at 86 seconds, Blue also took the lead until the end of the match. But here's the pivotal call. Red Alliance looked to be going for a triple climb, which they probably needed for the win. But at 14 seconds, 58-95 abandoned the triple to go and park despite being down by 3 points. However, Blue did not notice this and instead continued to go for their triple, trying to match. At 5 seconds left, 25 was able to get up on the platform, but when time hit 0, the charging station looked like it was going to balance, and then sadly, just couldn't get there as 2 out of 3 robots slid down, securing the Red Alliance district win with a 131-124 victory. Congratulations to both alliances for an intense Finals 2 match. Some notable awards: 1712 Dogma would earn the first Impact Award, and 1807 Redbird Robotics got the Gold Silver Cling Bling with the Engineering Inspiration Award. Now on to Warren Hills, which also featured 31 teams. Some old school numbers like 11 and 193 together, 222, 303, 1676, and some up and coming teams like 3142 and 7045. There were only 12 Unicorn 4RP matches here, and another tie for first in this event also with 11 Mort and 1676 Pascack Pioneers with an average of 3.16 RP. Mort would win the tiebreaker, however, it wouldn't matter as both these teams would be on the same alliance together, and Mort would also pick up 85-88 to join their alliance. The first 2 playoff matches would feature upsets as the number 1 alliance would fall to number 8 after a last-second triple docked and engaged by Blue sent Blue Alliance forward, and the number 4 alliance would also fall to number 5 in round 1. It would instead be the number 3 alliance that would be the first to make it in the finals, comprised of 3142 Aperture, 7045 MC Crusaders, and longtime veteran 555 Montclair Robotics. On the lower bracket, the number 1 would face JV Team 193 Mort Beta. After round 1, this number 1 alliance had to call in backup robot 6943, but the number 1 alliance would hit a brick wall and would fall in round 3 with this backup robot. After a couple more matches, we'd see the number 3 alliance in red versus the number 5 alliance in blue in the finals. Number 5 alliance received a red card back in round 2 and would carry the yellow into the finals, setting up some very interesting situations. Finals 1 was pretty close, but what really set the number 3 alliance part was links. Number 3 alliance had 5 links, while the number 5 blue alliance somehow only managed up with 1 link through the entire match, leading to a 119-85 Red Alliance victory. Finals 2, Red Alliance looked to be in control after auto, and 42-85 on blue became disabled for about 30 seconds right then, but then came back to life and became disabled again after their bumpers fell off for the rest of the match. But take a closer look. At 71 seconds, 9015 bumps into 7045, which causes them to also collide with 4285, and 7045 ends up hopping up on top of their bumpers. And when they go to separate, 4285's bumper is taken off. After a really long downtime, it was announced that a G205 was called, resulting in a Red Alliance red card, which had them lose the match. We've had other discussions on G205, but wow. In Finals 3, with both alliances having standing yellow cards, neither held back. 223 continued a cube shuttling strategy for blue, while red went with 3 offensive robots. The match was relatively close, but a triple docked and engaged balance by red sealed the victory and the district win by a score of 120-97. Congratulations to both alliances and to 11 Mort for earning the first Impact Award, and 1676 to Pascack Pioneers for Enduring Inspiration. It should be noted that Rookie All-Star was not given out at either FMA event this week, so we hope to see teams recognized in Week 5 before DCMP. Great matches in FMA. Looking forward for more. Back to you, Steve.
Our final correspondent for the Northeast region is Ari, who's here to break down both the Long Island Regional number 1 and number 2 events. Ari, how things shake out at Long Island this weekend?
Thank you, Steve. We'll continue our Nor'easter recap down in Long Island, where teams competed in 2 regionals this week held at Hofstra University. Our first Long Island event hosted 45 teams from 4 different countries in Downstate's first competition of the season. Many teams took to the field for the first time with some particularly creative designs. Our top contender here was Team 3015 Ranger Robotics, venturing out of the range of upstate to continue their season after winning last week's Finger Lakes Regional. However, by alliance selections, it would be Team 2872, the Cybercats, who would claw their way up to the first seed with a rank score of 3.20. 2872 might have crawled under your radar, but they've been on an upward swing, winning Long Island 1 last year as a clutch third. They'd select second-ranked team and Long Island mainstay Team 870 Rice for their floor pickup and single substation scoring, and they'd round out their alliance with defensive bot 334 Tech Knights. The 1-seed alliance would fly through playoff matches until tipping point match 11, where they'd come up just short to the second-seed alliance, captained by 3015 and assisted by teams 1468, the Hicksville Jaybirds, and 2875, the Cyberhawks. Unshaken, in lower bracket match 13, the 1-seed would put up a playoff high score of 159 and advance to the final rounds. The final matches were very evenly matched and impressive to watch. The second alliance squeaked out a victory in match 1, the first alliance rallied back to take match 2, but unfortunately, these would be overshadowed by controversy on a missed score in match 3. In auto, the Blue Alliance had 2 robots move out of their community, but scores only counted a single robot. This unfortunate scoring instance has caused uproar from the community, especially considering that the match would be scored as a Blue Alliance victory by a single point. This game calls for perfection in many forms, cycles on the field, autos, and here we've added another, from humans off the field. Hopefully this will be the last we hear of a pivotal call like this by bringing more attention to this one. In the meantime, congrats to both the first and second seed alliances for matches well played, and Team 28 Pearson Whalers for the Impact Award, and 2638 Rebel Robotics for Engineering Inspiration. Long Island's field would stay set up overnight for a second regional of the week, Long Island number 2. 48-7 teams returned to Hofstra University for a back-to-back robot fiasco. Some newcomers debuted for the first time, while others went back-to-back, playing their entire season out in just 1 week. Our top contenders of the season were the debut of 694 Stipulse from a New York City mainstay, and 870 Rice, captain of Long Island 1's finalist alliance, and 1468 winner of Long Island 1. These 3 teams duked it out in qualification rounds, but it would be Team 694 that came out as the first seed. They selected 870 first round and completed their alliance with Team 533, the Psychotics. 1468 would select 2872 for the Long Island 1 Synergy, and take 2869, the Regal Eagles, as their third. The first seed would fly through the playoff matches, winning each by a margin of no less than 30 points. But drama's in the 2 spot, and it would be the third seed that would climb through the lower bracket gauntlet to make it to finals. Captained by Team 329, the Mohawks, and if you have the chance to look at this robot, please do. It picks up game pieces by pinching them with a wide sail that flops down. Crazy, innovative type of thing. They put together a high-scoring alliance with the help of 5736's Kingsman Robotics and 5099 Northport Robotics. In 2 matches, the 1 seed would outscore the 2nd seed and take the regional. Congratulations 694, 870, and 533. Looking forward to seeing 694 compete at New York City Week 5 and the rest of them at championships. Congrats also go to our Impact Award winner 1796, the Robo Tigers. Great to see them win that this season, and Team 2869, the Regal Eagles, for engineering inspiration. With that, I'll hand it back over to you, Steve. Thanks for tuning in to the Nor'easter region this week.
Thanks, Ari. Our next region of the night is our SEweet region, the Southeast region, where Griffin is bringing us the action from 2 CHS district events. Griffin, good to see you again. Bringing us up to date on what happened out at the CHS District Glen Allen, Virginia event and the CHS District Timonium, Maryland event. Hope I said that right.
Luckily, you did say it right, Steve. Well, Chesapeake was abuzz as the teams worked to put their best foot forward for the final week of competition in the district. Starting in Virginia was a Glen Allen event at Deep Run High School, where 39 teams competed in 78 qualification matches. When I say the field was stacked, it was stacked higher than an IHOP pancake platter, as 27 alliances got the 4 RP, with 2 unicorn matches. Sitting at the top of the craziness was 1123 AIM Robotics. They quickly picked up, to no one's surprise, 422 MechTech Dragons. What did shock a lot of people was their second pick in 540 Talon, whose robot had been plagued with technological issues the entire event. While able to win through their first 2 matches, they were matched with a triple offense 3rd seed alliance of 384 Sparky, 401 Copperhead Robotics, and 611 the Saxons. This alliance was a force to be reckoned with, as they put up over 150 points in each upper bracket match. This power was easily strong enough to propel them into the finals, where they faced off against the 5th seed of 346 Robohawks, 449 Blair Robot Project, and 1086 Blue Cheese. A face-off of the triple offense versus the most aggressive defense at the event in 1086, it was back and forth, with an unfortunate tipsy moment by 384 in the first match. Even with the tip, the 3rd seed pushed through, winning with a score of 123 to 109. The second match saw the same fervor with both alliances, but the 3rd seed was able to squeak out a win with 121 to 114. Big congratulations to the 3rd seed, as well as a big congrats to 540 Talon on Engineering Inspiration and 401 on Impact, bringing home the double gold cling bling. Heading north into Maryland was the Timonium event at Dulaney High School, where 36 teams competed in 72 qualification matches. Or they tried to, as multiple teams were plagued with Wi-Fi issues, with packet loss that led to multiple robots being fully connected and operational, but not being able to move at all. Through all the extreme issues teams faced, sitting at the top seed was last week's winner, 1727 Rex. They quickly picked up 614 Nighthawks and rounded out the alliance with 7770 Infinite Voltage. This alliance together was a very strong force, and easily went through the upper bracket, even beating the powerful number 2 seed of 1629 Garrett Coalition, 836 Robobees, and 6863 Squirrels, though a bit more due to 6863 having drive issues on their sword modules. Now in the lower bracket, the number 2 seed had to fight hard, as they were facing the tough 5 seed of 888 Robotiators, 1111 Powerhawks, and 5549 Griffin Robotics. In a down-to-the-wire match, the number 2 seed won with a score of 103 to 101. Now back against the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed called a backup robot 9072 Tigerbots, so that 6863 could fix their drive issues. The first match saw a win to the 2nd seed, as 7770 saw connectivity issues and parked in a precarious spot and racked up penalties. In Final 2, 6863 came back with a vengeance and was able to play substantial defense against the Powerhouse in 1727, resulting in a win for the number 2 seed and a first ever blue banner for 6863 and 9072. Congratulations also to 9072 on Rookie All-Star, 5338 Robo Loco on EI, and 4541 on Impact. Additional big congrats to 836 on winning both the Digital Animation Award and Safety Animation Award for the year.
Thanks, Griffin. Staying in the Sweet Tea Southeast region, we've got Evan here to fill us in on what took place out in the FNC district at the UNC Pembroke event. Evan, how things go for you down in FNC country?
Things went great. The UNC Pembroke event is the last FNC event before the DCMP this week. Some of the notable teams heading into this event were Team 2642, the Pit Pirates, Team 6502 Darkside, and Team 8738 Slice. Once again, and this is a less competitive event, the high score was 130 in playoff match 8. Alliance selection was quite interesting. Alliance 2 and Alliance 6 both made it to the finals. Alliance 2 included teams 2642, Team 7763, Robotics, and Team 4828, the Robo Eagles. Alliance 6 included teams 5607 and Team Firewall, Team 8738 Slice, and Team 2640 Hotbots. Alliance 2 ended up winning all their matches until the finals. However, Match 11 had issues in Alliance 2, and that Pit Pirates were tipped over in a collision with 5518. Alliance 1 then received a red card for that match. One thing that was interesting about this event was that the finals were a rematch of match number 8. In the first finals match, the Blue Alliance started out with a big lead of 33-12 going out of auto. They were able to maintain this lead, and Pit Pirates did not seem to be fully functioning this match after their incident. The Blue Alliance won this match 83-59. On to Finals 2, where once again, the Blue Alliance started with a 24-point lead in auto. The lead narrowed throughout the match, and at endgame, Blue had a 3-point lead. The Red Alliance had a triple engage, while Blue lost theirs at the last second. The match then went to the Red Alliance 94-71, creating a third finals tiebreaker. This match, Pit Pirates seemed to be working much better, and this allowed for an engage in auto for the first time in finals. This match was neck and neck, but the Blue Alliance was only able to get a double engage compared to the Red Alliance triple engage, leading Red to win the finals tiebreaker in a very tight score of 107-104 in a penalty-free match. Moving on to awards now, congratulations to Team 9042 Soren for the Rookie All-Star Award. Congrats to 2642 Pit Pirates for the Engineering Inspiration Award, giving them a gold and silver Kling Bling. Finally, congratulations to Team 6894 Ice Java for the Impact Award, giving them a gold Kling Bling. Be sure to say hi to me at the FNC DCMP this weekend. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Evan. We've got 3 more events to cover here in the Southeast region, and Justin is here to talk about the PCH District Carrollton event and PCH District Hartsville event. Justin, how things shake out down in Georgia and South Carolina this weekend?
Well, in the northwestern part of Georgia, 28 teams competed this weekend at the Carrollton qualifier. This would be the second event for many of the teams here. It would be another relatively competitive event, save for one team standing out far and beyond. Walton Robotics had another dominant weekend with their average match score nearly 25 points higher than the third-ranked team. Although contrary to their previous event, they couldn't quite manage to go undefeated here, falling short in 2 qualification matches, one where they malfunctioned and one where their grid scoring was 1 versus 3. Of course, no surprise, 2974 would take that top rank at the end of qualifications and select second-ranked 6340, the Maris Manatees, and attempt to run it back for the win again like they did in Dalton. They would round off the number 1 alliance with the Hall of Fame team 1311 Kell Robotics. This alliance didn't falter one bit in their path to finals. Facing them would be the 4th-seeded alliance, captained by 5109 Gladiator Robotics, with the partners 4189, the Chargers, and 5293 Metal Crusaders. 5109 was one of the few robots to beat 2974 earlier in this event. In Finals 1, the Blue Alliance would start with the lead 30-27 by having a cube scored higher rather than low, like the Red Alliance did. From there, however, the number 1 alliance showed why they were number 1 and quickly ran away with the match. The final score was 114-74. Finals 2 was closer, with the Blue Alliance staying within 10 to 15 points for the majority of the match. In a last-ditch effort, they attempted to triple engage but couldn't quite make it, and in the time they took attempting this, Red continued scoring as they could reliably make a double engage in less time. This would lead to the number 1 alliance winning it 116-98. Rookie All-Star was won by 92-93 Caffeinated. Walton would take home the gold silver Kling Bling with the Engineering Inspiration Award, and earning the Impact Award was 74-51 Avengers Robotics. Now, if you left Carrollton and headed east on I-20 for about 5 hours, you'd arrive at the Hartsville event happening in South Carolina this weekend. This is a fun, high-energy event hosted at Coker University, and you can feel the good vibes from everyone in attendance. This is another very competitive event. The top 5 ranked teams' average match score were within 10 points of each other. When the dust of qualification settled, the number 1 seed would go to 4451, Robots Garage. They would once again form the Magic Garage with 1102 making magic and asked 4748, the Bulldog Autobots, to come along with them. This alliance would easily make their way to finals, but the other finalists didn't have such an easy journey. The 3rd seed alliance was led by 343, Metal in Motion. Joining them was 342, the Burning Magnetos, and they were aided by 8137, the Biting Bulldogs. In their first match, 342 made a last-second code change, resulting in the gripper malfunctioning during the match. However, the quick work of 343 and the defense of 8137 kept the number 6 alliance at bay, and the number 3 alliance would come out on top 89-84. Number 3 would then fall in round 2 to the 2nd seeded alliance with a 99-99 tie, broken by number 2 having more autonomous points. They would win round number 3, but round number 4, 342 had more issues again. Towards the end of the match, their arm got stuck on one of the grids, and with help from 343, they dislodged, but tore the can wires out of their gripper motor. In a show of grit, they quickly replaced this and were ready for a rematch with Alliance 2 in round 5. They would win this time around 116-83. On to finals, the two Bulldogs teams would go to work fighting each other to see who could provide stronger defense on their opponents. The Blue Alliance kept the match close, matching red in the grid points, but losing out to number 1's Triple Engage. Finals 1 would be 114-82 in favor of Red Alliance. Finals number 2, the number 1 Alliance took an early lead in Autonomous, and Blue would keep the score close once again, matching them in teleop, but the Autonomous lead and some fouls occurred by the Blue Alliance would result in the Magic Garage taking home the win once again. The event's rookie all-stars were 93-15, the Coding Comets. Engineering Inspiration Award was won by 34-89, Category 5, and earning the District Impact Award was 85-75, the Due Westerners. We have one more event in Macon, Georgia before district championships. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Justin. Finally, James is here to fill us in on the Tallahassee Regional. James, welcome. Good to see you. So how things go down in Tallahassee this weekend?
The Tallahassee Regional in Tallahassee, Florida brought together 38 teams from 3 states and 7 different countries. After South Florida was a classic dominant first seed versus a slightly weaker second seed Alliance Regional, and Orlando was a slugfest between first and third seeds, eyes were on Tallahassee to see how the final outing from Florida would go down. The number 1 seed was up for grabs all the way to the very last match of qualifications, where 67-22 LED Robotics would get a 4 RP match and get the first seed with a record of 10-2 and a 3.0 RP average. They would select third-ranked 180 Spam and round out their alliance with 45-92 M3 the Mighty Mechanical Mustangs. The number 1 seed would win their first match easily, but in match 7 against the 4th seed at 55-57 the BB Raiders, 233 the Pink Team, and 92-84 the Edgy Wizards, 45-92 would take a big hit and die in the Blue Alliance's loading zone, resulting in 40 points of penalties. This combined with the triple balance would result in the 4th Alliance winning 141-123. Alliance 1 would have to call in backup team 4707 Team Force to assist them in match 9, but they would also become inoperable. During the break, they were able to get 45-92 back to full function, and in match 12 would face the number 2 Alliance, what many thought would be the finals matchup before taking down the number 3 in match 13 to return to face the number 4 seed in the finals. Finals 1, Alliance 1 would come out swinging and would get a triple balance to win 138-122. Finals 2 was also very close, but Alliance 1 would have better game piece placement and would win the final match 125-116. Congratulations to 1672, 180, 4592, and 4707 on the regional win. Congratulations are also in order to 9135 Steam Sir for the Rookie All-Star Award and Wildcard provided via 180, as well as Team 5816 Gravy for their Impact Award win, and 5557 for the Engineering Inspiration Award and Double Silver Kling Blings. With that, we close out the last regional in the SEweet T region for the season, and it is back to Steve to introduce our next region.
Thanks, James. That wraps up the SEweet T region. Next up, we head north of the border to our cousins up north, and Emma is here covering both events being held in the Ontario district. Up first, she's going to recap the North Bay event. followed by the University of Waterloo event. Emma, welcome back to Fun. How did your events up in Canada go this weekend?
Thanks, Steve, and welcome up north, everybody. Starting with the colder of the two Ontario events this weekend, the North Bay District event was one to watch, with lots of experienced and newer teams alike. Being a Week 4 event, the majority of the teams competing here already had at least one 2023 competition under their belts, and were ready to use that previous experience to hopefully claim that blue banner. I was most looking forward to seeing 610 Crescent Coyotes with the most unique robot design I've seen this year. If you haven't seen them yet, I highly suggest you check out their reveal video. With a score of 129 in qualification match 32, 4069 Llewellyn Robotics, 2706 Merge, and 2013 Cybernome set the high score of this event. These robots were definitely teams to keep an eye on. Now, playoffs were the most exciting part of this competition. Finishing qualification matches in the top spot, 610 was definitely the team to beat. They captained Alliance 1 and partnered with 2013 Cybernomes and 771 SWAT. In a crazy upset, Alliance 3 made their way through the lower bracket to win that blue banner. 4152 Hoya Robotics selected the hometown heroes 1305 Ice Cubed and 6864 Grifftech Robotics to beat out Alliance 1 for the gold medal. Congratulations to Team 771 SWAT for earning the Impact Award. 4069 picked up the Autonomous Award, while 9127 Lioneers won the Rookie All-Star Award. Great work to all the teams that competed at this event. And now, moving on to the University of Waterloo event. This competition had such a high caliber of teams, it was so exciting to watch. I was most excited to see 1114 Symbotics, 3683 Team Dave, 4678 the Cybercabs, and so many more. A high score of 158 points in qualification match 47 was set by 4678, 2702, and 1114. With an average match score of 89 points this competition, everyone was playing it hard and leaving it all on the field. This was such an exciting competition, I couldn't keep my eyes off the stream. With so many teams zipping around the field, I couldn't keep track of everything going on. Team 4678 Cybercabs blew me away with an auto that put up an entire link on the top row of the grid. Their hard work and super speedy robot earned them the Excellence in Engineering Award. With so many amazing teams, the playoff bracket was wild. With an average match score of 112 and a high score of 173, no one was giving up easily. With one blue banner under their belts from the Georgian event, 1114 Symbotics picked Western finalists 3683 Team Dave and 8764 Thunder Robotics to snag another gold medal. I very much expected Alliance 2, 4678, 2609, and 6992 to go head-to-head with Alliance 1 in the finals. But Alliance 3, captained by Rookie Inspiration Award winner 9098, the Firehawks, my favorite small but mighty Cubot, pulled up the upset, leading their Alliance partners 5409 and 7022 to finals. The third Alliance put up a great effort, but the Waterloo Blue Banner goes to Alliance 1 on this one. Shout out to 5409 for somehow righting themselves with their arm after falling over. That was some fast thinking. If this event has showed us anything, the Ontario District Championships will be insane. Congratulations to 772 Saberbites Robotics for winning the Impact Award. 9062 Critical Circuits earned the Rookie Inspiration Award, and 4976 Revolt picked up the Autonomous Award. Thanks everyone, and back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Emma. Up next is our international region, and we have 3 events internationally to cover, including the Israel District Championship. Danny's here first to break down that Israel District Championship. Danny, how did the DCMP go out there?
Thank you, Steve. The Israel District Championship has once again proved itself to be a strong and exciting event. 45 Israeli teams took part in the event last week in our capital city of Jerusalem and tried to earn one. Thank you, Steve. The Israel District Championship has once again proved itself to be a strong and exciting event. 45 Israeli teams took part in the event last week in our capital city of Jerusalem and tried to earn one of 11 tickets to the first World Championship in Houston. Qualification matches were amazing, with 62 out of 83 matches being a Unicorn 4 RP matches, 25 of those being Super Unicorn 4 and 2 RP matches. That is not including match 54, that also ended with 6 ranking points, but since the match ended in a tie, each alliance received 3 ranking points. Only 2 qualification matches ended with just the regular 2 win RP, and only 5 matches total ended with 3 or less ranking points. The top 8 teams at the end of qualifications all had a ranking score of 3 or higher. And leading the group was Team 1577 Steampunk, who finished first with a record of 8-3 and a 3.36 ranking score. 1577 picked 6090 Orbit and 5135 Black Unicorns to join their alliance. In the playoffs, Alliance 1 remained in the upper bracket all the way to the finals, with match 7 being the highest scoring match of the event, where Alliance 1 won with 190 points. In the lower bracket, match 13 featured Alliance 3 with teams 1574 Miskar, 3075 A Dream Team, and 5635 Demacia, and Alliance 4 consisting of 5990 Trigon, 5987 Galaxia, and 3316 Debug. Alliance 3 had only 2 bots on the field, with Team 5635 missing from the match. At the end, Alliance 4 took the win, 164 points to 126, and they advanced to meet Alliance 1 in the finals. Finals 1 was very close, and although Alliance 4 had the advantage most of the match, it would be Alliance 1 to take the win 169 to 163 points. Finals 2 had a clear red advantage for the match, yet the score was much closer, with only 2 points difference. At the end, it was the Red Alliance taking the win and becoming our district champions with 171 to 169 points. This win earned 1577 Steampunk and 6090 Orbit their 5th win together, and with that a spot in the most successful team-ups. Congratulations to the winners and to teams 5635 Demacia for winning the District Championship Engineering Inspiration Award, and for team 2096 RoboActive for winning the District Championship Impact Award. Congratulations for Zehavit Barlevi for winning the Woody Flowers Finalist Award, and to Tal Taub for winning the Volunteer of the Year Award. Last but not least, congratulations for teams 5990 Trigon, 2630 Thunderbolts, 1574 Miskar, 3339 Bumblebee, 5987 Galaxy in Memory of David Zohar, 2230 General Angels, and 5654 Phoenix, all for qualifying to the first championship based on their district ranking. I want to thank all of the amazing volunteers and the incredible staff of First Israel for all of their hard work this season. We all managed to have a fun and safe season thanks to them, and they all deserve our biggest appreciation. Big thank you for First Executive Vice President Chris Rake for joining us here in Israel for a DCMP. It was such a big pleasure for all of us to meet you. A last thank you is of course to all of you guys for joining our live streams. We know it can be hard with time differences and the competitions being in the middle of the week, and we appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our events. We hope you enjoyed them just as much as we did. I cannot wait to see what our Israeli teams will bring to the championship next month. But until then, back to you.
Thanks, Danny. Staying international, we head to James, who's covering the Istanbul Regional. James, thanks for joining us here on Recap. How'd the Istanbul Regional go down?
The Istanbul Regional is the first of 3 regionals that will take place in Turkey this season, and brought together not just the 42 teams from within Turkey, but also teams from India, China, the United Kingdom, and Bulgaria. When qualifications finished, it would be Team 7285 Beşiktaş R Sports, who would seed first with an 8-1 record and a 2.55 RP average, including the only unicorn match at the event. They would select 6th ranked 6436 Pars Robotics and round out the alliance with 30th ranked 8240 Ataturk Robotics. The number 1 alliance came out strong, although in match 11 of playoffs they had a brief scare when 6436 would break their arm, but still would head into finals as the clear favorite. Meeting them would be the 5th seed alliance, captained by 7th ranked 9077 The Crown, their first selection 13th ranked 7748 Technotolia Robotics, and rounding out the alliance was 8015 The Cheetahs from Shanghai, China. Finals 1 would have Tragedy strike the number 1 seed, as 7285 would have a failure in Autonomous that left them disabled for the whole match. The number 5 seed would capitalize on this and win the match 94-43. Match 2 would have 72-85 be fully functional, combined with a big hit on 77-48, resulting in them tipping over. That would give the number 1 seed the win, 139-89. It was tiebreaker time, and the number 1 seed would have tragedy strike again when 72-85 would hit their own alliance partner, 82-40, and 72-85 would lose control of their drivetrain just 20 seconds into the match. Alliance 1 would do their best, but the full offense strategy from the 5th seed would be too much to overcome. Your champions would be Alliance 5 with a score of 74-70. Congratulations to 90-77, 77-48, and 80-15 on their first blue banners. 90-77 would also be honored with the Rookie All-Star Award. Congratulations are also in order to 64-31 Noxta Panteras for their first Impact Award win, and 81-59 Golden Horn for the Engineering Inspiration Award. Many of these teams will be playing starting today at the Bosphorus Regional and later this week at the Halak Regional. I look forward to seeing what happens at these events. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, James. Our final event of the international region is the Regional Laguna. And Lena is here to break down the action for us. Lena, welcome back, my friend. How things go down at your events this weekend?
We had our final event from Mexico at Torreon, Coahuila, El Regional Laguna, with some of the best-known teams in the region playing to win it all. Some teams were 46-35 Botbusters, 4400 Robotics, 74-21 Overture, and 55-26 Type C. With this being the final event in Mexico, every team was going to give it all to try to punch their tickets to championship. After an unexpected turn of events in qualification matches, the powerhouse team 46-35 lost their first match, which put many teams in contention for rank 1. After all was settled, with the final rankings, we had 4400 Robotics in rank 1, who picked 46-35. We also had 74-21 decline an invitation to join the second-seeded team. The number 1 seeded alliance had a flawless upper bracket run into the finals. However, in the lower bracket before the finals, there was a really close match, and we could see that all the teams fought with everything they got. After all, they knew some wildcards were going to be generated just by reaching the finals. Final match between the number 1 seed of 4400, 46-35, and 35-26 versus the number 2 seed of 55-26, 44-03, and 6200. The number 1 alliance won by a big point margin in 2 matches. Congratulations to 4400 Robotics Españoles for their first winner blue banner, 46-35 Prepatec Botbusters for their 4th Laguna win in a row, and 35-26 Prepatec Blue Ignition. I would also like to give a shout out to Team 9120 Silverbot Fresnillo PLC for their Rookie All-Star, Team 9134 Prepatec Milenio de Bolt for their Engineering Inspiration, and Team 7018 Elote Españoles for their first Impact Award.
Thanks, Lino. And before we get into our recaps for our InFiMidation region, let's bring on producer Tyler to talk about our sponsor, Kettering University.
Hey, thanks a lot, Steve. Kettering University is looking for some fantastic students to hop on and go over to kettering.edu/first. If you're looking for a great school for engineering or many of the other programs that they offer, go check out Kettering University. They have a combat robotics team. They have an awesome FIRST center and so much more. Kettering University reps are going to be all over FIRST events this year, so make sure you go check them out. Go over to kettering.edu/first, see if there's going to be a Kettering University rep near you, and make sure you check them out. They'll be the field sponsor of the Archimedes Field at the World Championships even as well. So go to kettering.edu/first, and thanks a lot to Kettering for their continued support of FIRST Updates Now.
Thanks, Tyler. Up next, we head into our next region, InFiMidation, or First in Michigan, where we have 6 events to cover, and Nick Jr. is here starting us off to break down the LSSU, and I'm assuming that's the Lake Superior State University, and Midland events. Nick, good to see you again, buddy. I won't call you old and crusty. Welcome back. How things shake out at your events this weekend?
Thanks, Steve. Heading up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we land at Lake Superior State University for the LSSU District event. LSSU is one of the more competitive Upper Peninsula events, so I was excited to see what that part of Michigan was able to bring out. Teams like 857 Superior RoboWorks, 3655 Tractor Technicians, 4392 the Deceivers, and 6637 the Beta Wolves were some teams that I was looking at coming into this event. At the end of quals, it would be 36-55 Tractor Technicians from Mason locking up the number 1 seed with a ranking score of 3.08. They would go on to select 43-92 the Deceivers and 77-68 the Automatons from Iron River. That would leave A57 in the second spot to select 91-76 Greenspire Steel Sturgeons from Traverse City and 48-35 Junkyard Dogs from Manistee. Your 3 captain would be 72-50, who selected 65-69 and 61-12, leaving 66-36 on the 4 spot to select 25-86 and 43-98. In the upper bracket, the 5 seed, led by 77-82 and 61-21 and 80-41, would beat the 4 seed, but would fall later in the upper bracket tournament. It would be the 1 seed, led by 36-55, 43-92, and the 2 seed, led by A57 and 91-76, that would move into the upper bracket finals, with the 2 seed winning, sending the 1 seed into the losers bracket. The 5 seed, after being sent down to the lower by the 1 seed, would meet the 1 seed again after clawing their way back to the lower bracket finals, but would lose the rematch 137-84. That leaves the 1 seed and the 2 seed into the finals, and man, this was a good one. We saw the 1 seed of Tractor Techs and Deceivers and Automatons coming out strong and taking match 1 with a score of 154-135, but the alliance of Superior Roboworks, Junkyard Dogs, and the Steel Sturgeons would not back down, taking match 2 140-106. But it would be the 1 seed who would prevail, coming back with a win 142-106. 36-55 Tractor Technicians earned a double gold Kling Bling that would take home the first Impact Award, while 25-86 the Copperbots took home Engineering Inspiration, and 91-76 taking home Rookie All-Star. Moving downstate a bit, we head down to Midland Dow High School for the Midland District event. This was another event I was looking forward to seeing because it had some of the mid-Michigan teams at this event that I do not get to see a ton of, like 51-66 the Fabricators from Freeland that had a good showing at their first event, 57-12 Hemlock Gray Matter, who is arguably one of the best upcoming teams in FIM, 51-14 Titanium Tigers, and 35-36 the Electro Eagles. After quals, it would be 51-66 the Fabricators that would take the number 1 seed with a rank score of 2.91, and they would select 57-12 Hemlock Gray Matter and 66-42 Harrison Stingers of Steel. That would leave 52-16 Evil Empire as the 2 captain, and they would end up with 51-14 Titanium Tigers and 52-31 the Radical Jays from Shepherd. 35-36 the Electro Eagles would be your 3 captain and would select 314 Big Mo and 92-25 the Evert Wildcats. And finally, 54-24 would be your 4 seed captain, who would select 37-70 and 67-53. Moving to the playoff rounds, we had 2 upsets in round 1 with 5-4 and 6-3. But in round 2, the 1 and 2 seeds would take care over the Cinderella stories in the making, and we would see the 1 seed and the 2 seed meet up in the upper bracket finals, with the 2 seed taking that match with a score of 131-122. That would send the 1 seed down to the losers bracket to face the 4 seed, led by 54-24 and 37-70. And they would upset the number 1 seed with a score of 127-119 in match 13 to make the finals. We are left with the 2 seed and the 4 seed to see who would take home the Midland District crown. The 4 seed came out swinging, taking match 1 with a score of 116-106. While the 2 seed took that hard and came back with a counterpunch in match 2 with a win of 126-105. Both alliances knowing that they could set up a phenomenal match 3, but it would be the 2 seed, led by 51-14, 52-31, and 52-16, taking home the crown with a score in finals 3 of 105-101. Hemlock's Gray Matter would take home the first Impact Award with 51-66 taking home Engineering Inspiration. Rookie All-Star was taken home by 92-25 the Evert Wildcats. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Nick. Up next, we have Lily, who's bringing us 2 great events out at the FIM District Lakeview number 1 and number 2 events. I was out there as an emergency game announcer for Lakeview number 1 on Friday evening and on Saturday, and I got to say I was impressed with the venue, the volunteers, the competition. It was a great event. Lily, tell the people about these 2 awesome events.
Thanks, Steve, and I can't wait to show you all the great things about Lakeview number 1. One of my favorite matches from this event was in qualification match number 63, because as everybody knows, I love close matches. In the match, we saw immediate Auton action by both alliances, but the Blue Alliance gained a significant lead in the autonomous period against the Red. The Blue Alliance was able to keep this lead headed into tally-out, and the Red Alliance caught up to the Blue in cycles, keeping the scores nearly tied for all of the match. In the endgame, the Red Alliance completed a 3-robot balance on the charge pad, while the Blue completed a 2-robot balance. The Red Alliance won with a score of 108-104, with 5 penalty points given to the Red Alliance. As we narrowed down the rest of the competition, we saw more great robot play. And in the finals, we saw the number 1 alliance meet the number 4 alliance. The number 4 alliance coming from the upper bracket and the number 1 alliance coming from the lower bracket, as these two alliances had previously played against each other in a limbs match number 7. In finals match number 1, we saw the two alliances tie with a score of 108 to 108. In finals match number 2, the Red Alliance had taken the lead in the autonomous period, and in Teleop, both alliances started off neck and neck in cycles. However, we continued to see the match being shaken up with defense. With a little over a minute left in the match, the Red Alliance tried keeping the slight lead they had against the Blue, but the Blue was able to jump ahead. They were able to keep the lead into the endgame, where the Red Alliance secured a 3-robot balance on the charge pad and the Blue with 2. However, the lone Blue Alliance robot left in scoring was able to secure a last second cube for the Blue, completing a 5th link for the Blue Alliance. The number 1 alliance won with the match with a score of 140 to 112. The number 1 alliance was able to carry this streak into finals match number 3, where they would win again, securing the district title. Congratulations to the event winners, being the number 1 alliance, captained by Team 9312 Nerd Spark, Team 5675 Wired Cats, and Team 4810 I Am Robot. Engineering Inspiration was won by Team 7226 Error 404. The Rookie All-Star Award was won by Team 9278 Omegatrons, and the Impact Award was won by Team 4810 I Am Robot, who double-bannered this weekend at Lakeview 1. I can't wait to show you all the great things about Lakeview number 2. One of my favorite matches in this event was in qualification match number 31. In match 31, we saw immediate Auton action by both alliances, but the Blue Alliance gained a significant lead in the autonomous against the Red. The Blue Alliance was able to keep this lead headed into Teleop, and in the endgame, both alliances completed a 2-robot balance. The Blue Alliance ended up winning the match with one of the highest scores of this district, 152 to 56. And as we narrowed down the rest of the competition, we saw even more great robot play. And in the finals, we saw the number 1 alliance meet the number 2 alliance. Number 1 coming from the upper bracket and the number 2 coming from the lower bracket after they had previously played each other in match 11 of eliminations. In finals match number 1, we saw the number 1 alliance winning the first match against the number 2, but the number 2 alliance would give them the fight of their life in finals match number 2, where the game designer was only 2 points. The Red Alliance was able to gain a significant lead against the Blue Alliance in the autonomous period. However, Teleop would prove to be just as exciting. With a lot of defense being played by both alliances in consistent cycles, both alliances proved to be quite the competitors. As the end of Teleop came, we saw with one Red Alliance robot down, but the Blue Alliance continued to keep the scores close. And in the endgame, both alliances completed a 2-robot balance. In the end, the Red Alliance won with a score of 142 to 140, securing the district title. Congratulations to the event winners, being the number 1 alliance, captained by Team 2767 Strike Force, 4381 the Twisted Devils, and Team 5559 the Gear Grinders. Engineering Inspiration was won by Team 4956 the Robo Sharks. Rookie All-Star was won by Team 9183, the Robo Comets, and the Impact Award was won by Team 3875, Red Storm Robotics. Now back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Lily, and congrats to, both 9312 Nerd Spark on their first blue banner, and congrats to I Am Robot on the double Klingling. And we've got 2 more events here to cover for InFiMidation, and up next, recapping the action from the Fim District West Michigan event. James, welcome back to Recap. It's good to see you again. How things go out at West Michigan this weekend?
Thanks, Steve. The First in Michigan West Michigan event retained its reputation as one of the best events in Michigan, as several of the state's heavy hitters duked it out in intense fashion. Eastside powerhouses like Team 27 Rush and Team 494 Martians even ventured across the state. After 78 matches and many upsets, Team 3357 Comets take the 1 seed and select Hall of Fame Team 27 Rush. Team 494 Martians seeded 2 and selected their sister Team 70 More Martians. Team 4003 Trisonics seeded 3 and selected fellow West Michigan contender 2054 the Tech Vikes. The first round of playoffs went as expected, with the exception of the number 5 alliance upsetting the 4 seed. Into round 2, the 5 seed consisted of 49-67, 85, and 29-59 rallied and had the points to beat the number 1 alliance. However, in the closing seconds of the match, 49-67 loses comms, unbalancing the triple climb and losing the match in heartbreaking fashion. In match 11, the 2 seed led by 494 upsets the 1 seed as 27 forks deployed prematurely in a collision, handicapping their entire alliance. In the lower bracket, it ended up being the number 6 alliance captained by 107 Team Robotics and their alliance partners 54-62 and 32-34, who battled all the way to the lower bracket finals before losing a relatively close match to the 1 seed. The finals were tight, with scores barely diverging, but after 3 matches, the number 1 alliance took home the banner over the number 2 alliance. It appears that the Comets have broken their streak of peaking early in the season. We'll see if their success can continue at MSC. Congratulations to Team 3357 the Comets, Team 27 Rush, and Team 4855 Ramageddon on the event win. Team 85 Bob took home EI, Team 9222 BCCS Eagles took home Rookie All-Star, and Team 107 Robotics took home the First Impact Award. It was a fantastic event to compete in, and best of luck to the many teams competing at the Michigan State Championship in 2 weeks. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, James, and congrats to your team on winning the Impact Award. And our final event of the Michigan region is the FIM District Troy number 1 event. And Mike's back to break that one down for us. Mike, welcome back to Recap. How was the competition out at Troy number 1 this weekend?
Thanks, Steve. It was a fierce competition at Troy. The first of 2 Troy districts this year ran Friday to Sunday, featured 42 teams, 21 of which were hitting the field for the first time in 2023. After qualifications, 67, the hot team from Highland, Michigan, came out way ahead in the rankings, scoring 5 RP ahead of the next team. They selected second-seeded team 1718, the Fighting Pie from Armada, and 8115, Platinum Peacocks from Chesterfield. In a red always wins upper bracket, the 1 seed advanced to the finals undefeated, setting the FIM high score of 167 along the way. Match 13, we saw the 2 seed face off against the 3 seed. The 2 seed, captained by 5436 Cybercats from Rochester, who selected 217 Thunder Chickens and 6152 Robo Falcons from Dearborn Heights. They were narrowly defeated by the 3 seed, partially due to an unfortunate collision, leading to 6152 tipping over midfield. This sent the 3 seed to the finals, captained by 226 the Hammerheads from Troy, with 2960 Automation Nation from Birmingham and 9226 GR Pioneers from Riverview. Finals 1, a hard collision from 1718, left 9226 dead in the middle of the field, and that put a damper on the triple offense that the 3 seed was running. The 1 seed won the match 153 to 135. Finals 2, all robots were functional and running all offense, but it was not enough for the 3 seed. The 1 seed came out on top, 160 to 134. Congrats to our winners, 67 the hot team, 1718 the Fighting Pie, and 8115 the Platinum Peacocks. And our finalists, 226 the Hammerheads, 2960 Automation Nation, and 9226 GR Pioneers from Riverview. Impact went to 226 as well, securing them the Kling Bling. And EI went to 573 Mech Warriors from Bloomfield Hills. Rookie All-Star went to 9204 Hidden Treasures from Pinckney. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Mike. And I may be out at Troy 2 this weekend coming up. I don't know yet. We'll see. But up next, we're heading to the North region, or Midwest, as they like to call it. And we have 4 events on tap. Up first, let's bring Mike back to break down the Wisconsin Regional. Mike, how'd the Wisconsin Regional go this weekend?
Thanks, Steve. Moving across Lake Michigan, the Wisconsin Regional in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we saw teams from Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, North Dakota, and one all the way from Mexico. In a very close ranking, 930 Maquinago Bears narrowly secured the number 1 seed with a record of 11-1 and an average match score of 125.6. They selected 8096 Cash Money from Chicago and 8029 Steel Bronco Robotics from Barrington, Illinois. The number 2 seeded team, 537 Robochargers from Sussex, Wisconsin, mixed up alliance selection when they were declined by the 3 seed, 1732 Hilltoppers, the 8 seed 706 Cyberhawks, and the 10 seed 6574 Ferrodermis. But A broken elevator for 9:30 saw a first round defeat for the number 1 alliance. The 1 seed set the playoff high score of 152 in the lower bracket, but a wheel came off of 8096 in round 3, and that meant that alliance saw an early exit. It was the all-Milwaukee 3rd seed that ran the upper bracket. Hilltoppers 1732 selected 1714 More Robotics and 8847 Milwaukee Cyber Cheese. They marched undefeated to the finals, taking out alliances 6, 2, and 4. They would face off against the 4 seed, captained by 2202 Beast Robotics from Brookfield, with 1792 Roundtable Robotics from Oak Creek, and 2830 Riverside Robo Tigers, also from Milwaukee. Match 1 was incredibly close. 1732 nailed their 2 game piece auto, and that extra game piece turned out to be the difference maker. Teleop cycling was dead even, and both alliances nailed their triple balance. The 3 seed took the match 139 to 133. Match 2 was not nearly as close. The 3 seed repeated their very consistent performance throughout playoffs and won the match 143 to 106. Congrats to the All-Milwaukee Alliance, 1732 Hilltoppers, 1714 More Robotics, and 8847 Cyber Cheese. And to our finalists, 2202 Beast Robotics, 1792 Roundtable Robotics, and 2830 Riverside Robo Tigers. That's the second win for both Hilltoppers and 1714, which is congratulations to them. It's an awesome season for both of them. 2830 also took the Kling Bling with an Impact Award, and EI went to 2506 Saber Robotics from Franklin, Wisconsin. There were no rookies at the event, so there was no rookie all-star. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Mike. Up next, we bring welcome Robothino here to bring us the action from both the Iowa Regional and the Minnesota North Star Regional at La Crosse. How did things shake out over at your events, Robothino? Did you have enough juice to make it through both events, or what's happening there?
Thank you, Steve. Much appreciated. Yeah, juice may have been running a little low, but we will start off here with the Iowa Regional, where 54 teams battled it out through 94 qualification matches, with no teams going undefeated. We would see 2264 Trojan Robotics with a rank score of 2.9 taking that top spot. They would grab 1625 Winnovation as their first pick and round off with 2667 Knights of the Valley. They would make their way to the finals with relative ease, but also having the sub in 2667 for 5837 Unity 4 Tech after their first match of elims. They would face off against in the finals number 2 seed, who they beat once in match 11 in the upper bracket, captained by 6424 Stealth Panther Robotics, first pick 4329 Lutheran Roboteers, and rounding off with 1785 Blue Springs Robocats. Though in the battles in the finals, we would see the first match 124 to only 126 in favor of the number 2 Blue. In the second match, it would be another very close battle, with an extra mobility points for Blue and one more mid-cube placed. It would result in a 141 to 147 Blue win. Congratulations to 1784, 5424, 4329 on their win, and 4096 Control Z on taking home the Impact Award, and 3928 Team Nertuino on Engineering Inspiration. And with that, we head on over to that Tyler country, Wisconsin, for a Minnesota Regional. What? Yes, the Minnesota North Star Regional. Over in that, whoa, voice is going crazy. Sorry about that. And yes, La Crosse, Wisconsin would see 39 teams battling it out with 13 matches to prove their bots through 85 matches of qualifications. In the end of quals, we would see 4728 taking that number 1 spot with a rank score of 3.84 and being undefeated 13-0. Their first pick would be 2451 Ponage, and they would round off their alliance with 4238 Resistance Robotics. They would see defeat in match 7 by seed 4, captained by 8076 Thunder Robotics, first pick 5232 Talons, and rounding off with 4693 Atomic Aftermath. Though it would not be long before both of those alliances found each other once again in the finals. though we would see 30-42 get subbed in for Alliance number 1 in match 12, replacing 42-38. Finals match 1 would be a very close battle, but we'd see seed 1 Blue miss their engage in auto and only lose to the first round, 145-130. The second round would be even more close, but ultimately come down to a foul on red, giving Blue seed number 1 their win, bringing it to the third tiebreaker match. Coming out of auto, we would see Blue up by 1 point, but with broken arms strapped together, they would just not be able to score as many game pieces, only getting 15, while red would see 18 pieces and an extra link. With both teams triple engaging at the end, the victory would go to red seed number 4, 144-130. So again, congratulations to 4693, 876, 5232 on their win. And also congratulations to 3130, the Errors, on their Impact Award win, and 4009 DNA on Engineering Inspiration. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Robothino. Up next, we have fun correspondent Adam, who was at the Finn District Tippecanoe event. Adam, it's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us here again on FRC Recap. How did the Tippecanoe event go this weekend?
Thank you, Steve. Welcome back to First Indiana, where today we're looking at the Tippecanoe District event. With 32 teams, as well as many of the highest-ranked robots across the district, matches consistently had tight scores as well as frequent unicorn alliances. Looking at specifically 292, they have been crushing it all season long. Being a finalist at both of their events, as well as a frequent flyer on the charge station, Panther Tech has been a force to be reckoned with and a team that is difficult to hold back from fast, accurate cycles. Moving on, we saw a wild grasp for the first seed as many teams rose and fell, with Team 74-57 holding the position at the end of the day. Going through eliminations, there were wild upsets, including the 6th Alliance knocking out the 2nd Alliance right before finals, and the 7th knocking out the 3rd seed earlier on. After the dust settled, we were left with the 1st Alliance, known as the Gold Alliance, made up of 74-57 Super Duper, 461 Westside Boiler Invasion, and 328 Golden Rooks, against the 6th led by 292 Panther Tech, 3147 Munster Horsepower, and 6956 Shamrock Robotics. With Finals 1 ending with a district-wide high score of 169-120, and Finals 2 ending with a score of 157-142, I am proud to say the 1st Alliance secured the win and continued the trend of 74-57, winning every Tippecanoe district event since their rookie year. Moving on to awards, Team 135, the Black Knights, won the Impact Award, 1741 Red Alert won the Engineering Inspiration Award, and with only one rookie team at the event, there were no rookie All-Stars. One final note, as we know, volunteers always try their best, but I would especially like to give a shout out to all the referees at this event, and to the head ref for making clear, well-explained calls, as well as looking for intent, even as robots became tipped on the field. That wraps up our Tippecanoe event. I can't wait to see many of you in the Greenwood next weekend for another electrifying event. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Adam. Now, before we get into our Mouth of the South region, let's go ahead and start our giveaway. Here to tell you a bit more about that is our producer, Tyler.
Hey, thanks a lot, Steve. Our friends at the Thrifty Bot are once again giving away a $25 Thrifty Bot gift card. So if you're interested in winning, just type Very Thrifty in chat right now, and that's your opportunity to win. Don't forget, you do need to be following the channel in order to be eligible, and we do give our subscribers some extra luck just because we rig it that way for them. So live, if you're watching live, that's your opportunity to type in Very Thrifty in chat right now. We'll draw for that after the live show is over. And thanks a lot to Thrifty Bot for the awesome giveaway. Let's send it back to Steve.
Thanks, Tyler. And moving on to the Mouth of the South region, and we start with Riley, who's bringing us the action from both the Central Missouri Regional and the Fit District Houston event. Howdy, Riley. How do y'all do down south at your events this weekend?
Thanks, Steve. We did pretty well down south. Let's go ahead and start with the Central Missouri Regional. At the Central Missouri Regional this year, we saw some amazing competition with only 27 teams. This was a smaller competition, but oh my gosh, was it super competitive. With almost 80% of matches ending with at least one alliance scoring over 100 points, which is some crazy high match scores. let's go ahead and talk about some matches. The event high score was achieved in Qual 53 with 188 points total, 163 points when you take away penalties. This match was played by 4766 Team Scream Junior, 3184 Blaze Robotics, and Team 1939, the Cunnigans. The number 1 seed went to 1706 Ratchet Rockers, who picked 4522 Team Scream, 6817 10 Factorial. In playoffs round 1, we saw a tie in match 3 with a score of 138 to 138 points, which was Alliance 2 versus Alliance 7. But the match went to Alliance 2 as a result of the tiebreaker tech fouls. In round 2, Alliance 7 beat Alliance 6 in match 6 with a score of 116 to 95. In round 3, Alliance 7 beat Alliance 4 in match 9 with a score of 117 to 97. And in round 4 and 5, we saw no upsets, leading us to a 1 versus 2 matchup. In Finals 1, we saw Alliance 1 beat Alliance 2 150 to 140, but in Finals 2, Alliance came back with a winning score of 158 to 144. Now we're in the tiebreaker. It looked like Alliance 1 was going to win the match, but also it kind of looked like 6817 was having some connection issues, which allowed Alliance 2 to catch up. And when they secured a triple balance, they ended up winning with a score of 157 to 153. Congratulations to Team 3184 Blaze Robotics, 4766 Team Scream Junior, who's beaten their senior team twice in a row now in finals, and 5809 the Jesubots for winning the 2023 Central Missouri Regional. As for awards, there was no Impact or Rookie All-Star, but we can congratulate Team 3061 Husky Robotics for winning the Engineering Inspiration Award. Now headed back down to the only First in Texas event of the week. Howdy for the First in Texas Houston District event. This event hosted 33 teams with only 2 rookie teams. The highest score achieved in quals was 148 points in match 22 by the winning alliance of 8576 Golden Warriors Robotics, 118 Robonauts, and 3847 Spectrum. Also, there was a super cool match in which 1477 Texas Torque was the first team in Texas to do a side climb. I think it was in match 16. The number 1 seed went to 118 Robonauts, who picked 3847 Spectrum and 2585 Impact. In playoffs in round 1, we saw no upsets. In round 2, match 8, Alliance 3 beat Alliance 2 with a score of 121 to 112. Also in round 2, Alliance 4 switched out 4332 EHS RoboCats with 7312 T3, and Alliance 1 replaced Team 2585 Impact with 9121 Wild West. Moving on, round 3 saw no upsets. Round 4 saw Alliance 4 beat Alliance 3 in match 11 with a score of 107 to 100. And in round 5, Alliance 1 won against Alliance 3, leading them to the finals. In the finals, Alliance 1 beat Alliance 4 with a score of 136 to 78, and then again with a score of 112 to 121. Congratulations to Alliance 4 of 2158, the Austin Cans 5414 Paradox, 4332 EHS Robonauts, and Team 7312 T3 for putting up a great fight in the playoff tournament. And congratulations to Team 118 Robonauts, 3847 Spectrum, 2585 Impact, and 9121 Wild West for winning the First in Texas Houston District event. For awards, congratulations to 2583 Orange Dynamite for winning the Impact Award, 8019 Patriot Engineering for winning the Engineering Inspiration Award, and 9121 Wild West for winning the Rookie All-Star Award. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Riley. Our final region of the evening is our West region, the best of the West, and we have 7 events to break down and cover. Up first, we have Alex, who's going to break down the Arizona West Regional as well as the Colorado Regional. Alex, welcome back to Recap. How did things take place out at your events this weekend?
Hey, Steve. Well, this weekend in Glendale, Arizona, 40 teams from the American Southwest, 1 team from Chinese Taipei, and 1 team from the Netherlands competed in Glendale, Arizona at Cactus High School, the home of Team 498, the Cobra Commanders. Going into the event, a few teams from Arizona piqued my interest as teams to watch. Team 498, the host of the event, stood out last week at the Arizona East Regional, making it to the finals with a strong showing in every category, and really showing that they're probably the strongest team in Arizona this year. Team 5199, the Robot Dolphins from Outer Space, had a very strong showing at LA Regional last week as the first pick. They won the event with Team 6833. In the qualification matches, Team 5199, 2403 Plasma, and 6413 Degrees of Freedom battled it out, competing for the top spot at the event with very, very close stats. Team 498 seemed to struggle with some reliability issues that caused them to lose some of the matches they could have won, put them down in 4th seed. The eventual standings, after a close battle for the top 4 qualifications, were in number 1 seed, 5199, the Robot Dolphins from Outer Space, then Team 2403, Plasma Robotics, a classic Arizona Robotics team, Purple Plasma, 6413 Degrees of Freedom, and 488, the Cobra Commanders. During alliance selection, Team 5199 recognized 498's reliability issues had been fixed, so they chose them. 2403 chose 1868 Space Cookies, and Team 6413 DOF chose Team 6968 Team Pi from the Netherlands to be their alliance partners. So I want to let everyone know that as of writing and recording this, there are no Day 3 match videos from this event, which means I can't really watch the matches and report if there's any crazy stuff that happened. I can only look at the data provided and the conversations that happen online. In the playoffs during round 1, the higher ranked alliances took the match in all cases except for match 2, where the number 5 alliance, Team 6479, 8848, and 6656 beat the number 4 alliance of 7426, 7447, and 6833. In round 2, the number 2 seeded alliance lost the number 3 seed, putting them in the losers bracket, which they were able to claw their way out of after a few very close matches. In the finals, it was the number 1 seed with Team 5199 as the alliance captain. Team 498 is their first pick, and their second pick, Team 1165, Team Paradise against 2403 Plasma, 1868 Space Cookies, and 3019 the Firebirds. Both the finals matches were very close, with the Red Alliance taking a win in match 1 due to some foul points. And in match 2, the Red Alliance eked out a win due to a triple engagement on the red side that the Blue Alliance was not able to compete with. Congrats to all the teams that competed this weekend, and now on to the Colorado Regional. This weekend in Denver, on the University of Denver campus, the Colorado Regional took place, where 43 teams competed to see who could take over as the robotic rulers of Colorado. Going into the weekend, this event is always an interesting one, as it's perfectly situated to draw in teams from the central region of the U.S. We had another team from the Netherlands at this event, and a couple of teams from areas like Oklahoma and Wisconsin. This event had so many teams excited to watch that I'm just going to run through them. First is Team 1011 Crush, who I believe was the first Arizona team to make an Einstein appearance, at least in a long time. Team 1339 Angelbotics, who had an excellent performance at this event last year. Team 1410 has had a strong robot in every event I've seen them at, but they just haven't been able to pull it together to get an event win in recent years. And Team 1619 is a classic robotics team. Upper Creek, who is just an incredible team. They won Houston last year, along with a huge slew of event wins on their Blue Alliance page going back to 2014. Team 4499, the Highlanders, they won Utah in week 1 and also had quite the blue banner collection. And Team 2240 Brute Force just took the Utah Regional with Team 4499 in week 1. In qualifications, 1339 Angelbotics quickly rose to the top of the leaderboard, being trailed by 1410 the Kraken, who was in turn closely tailed by Team 1619. Seems like they barely lost on average RP due to a close game in match 73. During alliance selection, the number 1 seed, 1339 chose the number 4 seed, 4499, the Highlanders. Number 2 seed, 1410, chose the number 3 seed, 1619. Number 5 seed was then the number 3 alliance, and captains 4293 Komodo chose 4068 Robotics as their alliance partners. And finally, Alliance 4 was captained by 2240 Brute Force, who chose number 15 Cougars Gone Wired. In the playoffs, the average level of play was really, really high. Round 1, the average winning score was about 138. With the Red Alliances and the higher ranked teams taking the win, there weren't any upsets. Round 2, the number 2 seeded Alliance lost to Alliance 3 by 30 points because of a very consistent and high scoring auto by the Blue Alliance. After being pushed into the losers bracket, the number 2 Alliance plays off against the number 4 Alliance and lost, as it seemed that the Red Defender had a couple drivetrain issues in an inopportune location that blocked the Red Alliance from scoring in the middle of their grid. This then knocked the number 2 Alliance out, leaving the other final spot available for the taking. In round 5, it was Alliance 3 versus Alliance 4, an incredibly close match with a difference of 5 points. Alliance 3 took the victory and went forward into the finals. Personally, I wanted to shout out Team 4418 from the number 3 Alliance, who was the second pick on Alliance number 3 throughout the playoffs. They really showed their stuff with a really amazing combination of defensive plays while still scoring at the bottom of their grid. Really valuable score for the Alliance, very regularly finishing off Alliance links. In finals matches, it was Alliance 1 versus Alliance 3. It was really shaping up to be a cool match. In match 1, the finals, unfortunately, 42-93, Komodo died early and was unable to move for most of the match, allowing for the Red Alliance to really run away with the score. The Red Alliance played an almost perfect game and really showed why their Alliance won with some excellent teamwork and dodging. In match 2, Komodo seemed to have solved the reliability issues, but were just simply outscored by the Red Alliance. The Red Alliance really focused on their top and mid links, and because of it, were able to win the match and thus take the event. Congrats to the finalist Alliance team, 42-93, 40-68, and 44-18, and congrats for the event win to teams 13-39, 44-99, and 17-99. Now, Steve, back to you.
Thanks, Alex. Up next, we have my man Tassif, who's breaking down the Hawaii Regional. Aloha, Tassif. Welcome back. Now, I know we don't have the budget to send you to Hawaii. So, how was the stream and how did things shake out at the Hawaii Regional? And next year, can I go?
Thanks, Steve, and we would love to take you to Hawaii. Hopefully, I can go there again one day. But aloha, everyone, and now get your leis on and/or your Hawaiian shirts on because we're heading to the beautiful islands of Hawaii. That is the Hawaii Regional. Hosting 37 teams, this event was to watch. You got Raid Zero, Barker Redbacks, and Hawaiian Kids that teams are keeping their eyes on, especially since these three exact teams were in the top 3 at the Canadian Pacific Regional back in week 1. In qualifications, you got to see Qual 16. Qual 16, the winning alliance of 4270 Crusaders, 7632 and King Robotics Makers, and 4613 Barker Redbacks filled up the entire grid, and they almost pulled off a max points scored. They were able to score 4 game pieces in auto, and they were just missing 1 mobility in auto, engaging the charging station in auto, and as well as 1 robot on the charging station during endgame. Still, what an amazing match to watch. Now, the number 1 seed went to 4270 Crusaders, who picked 4613 Barker Redbacks and 8871 Saber Dynamics. In playoffs, round 1, we saw Alliance 6 upset Alliance 3 in match 4, 105-68. In round 2, we saw no upsets. In round 3, Alliance 4 beat Alliance 3 in match 9, 147-123, and Alliance 6 beat Alliance 5 in match 10, 109-100. In round 4, Alliance 2 beat Alliance 1 in match 11, 156-139. In round 5, Alliance 1 came back, beating Alliance 4 in match 13, 145-74. Now, finals is a 1v2 matchup. Will Alliance 1 be able to come back from their loss in match 11? In finals 1, Alliance 2 beat Alliance 1 159-128. In finals 2, Alliance 2 replaced 8871 with 91-2 but Waffles, but Alliance 1 was able to grab the win 106-136. Congratulations to 4253 Raid 0, 359 Hawaiian Kids, and 2445 RoboCap for winning the 2023 Hawaii Regional. For awards, congratulations to 359 Hawaiian Kids for the double Kling Bling in winning the Impact Award. Congratulations to 6909 Sakura Tempesta for winning the Engineering Inspiration Award, and congratulations to 9019 Copla Co for winning the Rookie All-Star Award. Now back to you, Steve. Hope to see you in Hawaii one day.
Oh, I'm totally there, especially if it's in January or February or March. So thanks, Tassif. Up next, we have Andre, who's going to break down the 2 PNW events for us, starting with the PNW District Sammamish, sounds like Samish event, and the PNW District Oregon State Fairgrounds event. Andre, welcome back. How are your events up in PNW this weekend?
At Sammamish High School in Bellevue, Washington, there are many teams that stand out as competitive teams. 2910 returning to try to keep their streak of district events and gain their 3rd banner this season. 2461, a featured Open Alliance team, returning from their Sundom event last weekend, and 360 returning strong from Clackamas earlier in the year. In qualification matches, 2910 and 360 were neck and neck, with rigging points popping in and out of the top seed and revolting around each other. But in the end, 2910 ended up as the top seed and rolled an alliance of 7461 and 5827. Then, 360 spun an alliance of 488 and 4450. The top alliance joked through elimination rounds, ending them in the top spot and landing them a spot in the finals, where the second alliance had some trouble with round 4 against the top seed. Giving a good fight, this alliance fell to the lower bracket where they faced Alliance 7, captured by 9-4-8. Proceeding to win this match, there was a rematch of 1v2 in the finals where Alliance 1 continued to win, crowning them the winner of the event. Congrats to 2910, 7461, and 5827 for winning this event, and to 360, 488, and 4450 for being a strong second alliance. Also congrats to 4450 for taking Engineering Inspiration home, and 1899 for winning Impact. Congrats to these teams, and let's look south in Salem, Oregon, where the Oregon State Fair was packed with competitive teams from across the Pacific Northwest. We see all the competitive teams across Oregon and a handful of them from Washington. In qualification matches, there were many riveting matches as one bot climbs to the top. Team 2521, Sir, the top seed of the event, truly deserved it, competing with a 111 style intake and a pivoting elevator. Interesting enough, many hard match schedules and unpredicted problems led to top teams from the event to fall short. Examples of this are 3636, 955, and 2471. In alliance selection, 2521 chose 2990, a reigning team in the district, showing the simplicity and effectiveness of their bot as it is a West Coast drive with a claw attached. And they also picked 1359. Another notable alliance, Alliance 3, captained by 1540, with 2811 and 5468, all third play teams determined to steal district points. In round 1 and 2, Alliance 1 had a strong lead, winning by a large margin. But in round 4, the first upset happened where Alliance 3, the third seeded Alliance, won by 7 points, sending the first Alliance to the lower bracket, where they were able to regain their streak and went on to the finals. In the first match, Alliance 1 had some difficulty winning as 2521 failed to score one of their game pieces in auto and looked to be having intake issues. This allowed Alliance 3 to win the first match, but in the second match, they were able to pull victory, forcing a tiebreaker. In that match, 2521's Alliance was able to pull victory, making their first win ever. Congrats to 2521, 2990, and 1359 for their win this event this weekend, and to 1540, 2811, and 5468 for being finalists. Also, congrats to 2635 for winning Engineering Inspiration and 7034 for the Impact win. Good luck.
And last but not least, we have Stanford, who's breaking down the final 2 events of the week for the West region. First up, we have the Sacramento Regional, followed by the San Diego Regional. Hey, Stanford, how things go at your events this weekend?
I went pretty great. I hope you guys are ready, because this year's Sacramento Regional was definitely one for the history books. California's most northern regional saw 46 teams competing for those oh-so-precious championship spots, and most notable among that group were teams 1678 and 254, who brought some serious firepower to this event's roster. Eyes were locked on the 2 favorites to see what they could do in each other's company, but 1678 and 254 were never paired during quals. However, there would be a battle for the ages in Q40 as the 2 titans faced off. Citrus may have won that battle, but the Cheesy Poos took the top of the standings come alliance selection. They then did the thing again and selected their fruit-based friends to be their playoff partner. The Citrus Poos alliance would also be rounded out by Team 3189, the Circuit Breakers. This alliance would take the quick route to finals, winning all of their upper bracket matchups with style. In their second playoff match, they would be the second alliance ever to completely fill up all their grids, and they triple climbed their way to a new world record. With a penalty-free score of 187, it was just 6 points short of a perfect match. They brought this epic level of play to finals, where the number 2 alliance of teams 5419 Berkeley, 2551 Penguin Empire, great name by the way, and 5458 Digital Minds would meet them. That alliance was sent to the lower bracket courtesy of a red card in their second match. However, they fought their way through the lower bracket to take on the strongest alliance in the world and finals. Finals was not really a surprise. The number 1 alliance performed incredibly and took home the banner in just 2 matches, both with a margin of victory over 50 points. Congratulations to the winners, Team 254, the Cheesy Poos, taking their 18th consecutive regional win, Team 1678, the Citrus Circus, taking their 23rd consecutive regional win, and Team 3189, the Circuit Breakers, taking their 3rd blue banner. Also now on their way to champs are teams 1072 Harker Robotics, who took Impact, and 4135 Aaron Patriots, who won EI. Finalists 54-19 and 25-51 also qualified courtesy of wildcards generated by 254 and 1678. Congratulations to all the teams and good luck at champs. And now for something completely different. 465 miles away, this year's San Diego Regional was taking place at a brand new venue. Teams no longer had to deal with creating new vision solutions at a venue that was basically outside, as SDR found a new home at UC San Diego. Notable teams amongst the 50 competitors were 1538 Holy Cows, 973 Greybots, 3647 Millennium Falcons, and defending regional champions 3128 Aluminum Narwhals. Quite a few teams traded the top spot in the rankings as the weekend went on, but when quals came to a close, 973 took top honors. They selected local legends 1538 Holy Cows and 4419 Team Rewind to be part of the number 1 alliance. This alliance also took the easy route to finals, remaining in the upper bracket. However, they did face incredibly strong opposition from a powerful number 4 alliance in their second match. Meeting number 1 in finals would be the number 2 alliance with teams 599 the Robotics, 4738 Patrobots, and team 3749 Optics, as well as the backup team 4141 Monarch Robotics. These wild and crazy guys only lost match 11 on their route to finals in what would be a rehearsal for the best of 3 series. The number 1 alliance was the favorite to take all those beautiful blue banners, and they showed up in force in finals. The victory was all but secured when 599 had an unfortunate mechanical failure on their arm, and thanks to a hard hit from 973. Despite a valiant offensive effort from Team 4738 and the robotic giraffe named Jerome, the number 1 alliance became your 2023 San Diego Regional Champions in 2 matches. Congratulations to teams 973 Greybots, 1538 Holy Cows, and 4419 Team Rewind for punching their ticket to Houston. Also qualifying at this event are teams 5993 ISTech Robotic Society, who won the Impact Award, and 3341 Option 16, who won EI. Finally, 599 and 4738 qualified via wildcard, courtesy of Hall of Fame Team 1538 winning the event, and 973 who qualified or who has previously qualified and also won this event. Those guys in San Diego really know how to put down a show. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Stanford. And thank you for tuning into FRC Recap for week 4 of the Charged Up season. If you're watching live, stay tuned for FRC Roundup for our open table discussion on Charged Up and this week and beyond. And this week, our guest is Brando from 125 Neutrons. Special thanks to all those who clicked that follow button or stepped up to help fund with a Twitch subscription or donation. Your support really helps us continue to make great content. Don't forget, you can watch FRC Recap archived at youtube.com/firstupdatesnow. On behalf of producer Tyler Olds and all of our fun correspondents, I'm Steve Londo. Thanks for watching and good luck to all teams competing in week 5 and beyond. See you next week on FRC Recap.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. Kettering University is looking for talented robotics students who want to continue learning and innovating in a hands-on, real-world experience format. Kettering University representatives will be at dozens of FIRST events this season, including the championship. Go to kettering.edu/first to see which events you can meet a Kettering University representative. FRC competition season is here. Submit your favorite moments to FRC Clips of the Week by each Sunday at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. Also, the FRC Top 25 poll is open Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern to Monday 5 p.m. Eastern, where you can vote for your top 25 teams of the week at firstupdatesnow.com/FRC Top 25. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.